Hello everybody and welcome back to Nioh 2. Today I wanted to go over some of my favorite combos and buffs to use with the single sword. I feel like the single sword is probably the weapon most people use, if not the dual swords. It's a very common weapon to see people use, and it's also a very fun weapon, but I wanted to go over some of my favorite combos with it, just with you guys. It's been a while since we were here, so you know the drill. Let me go through this with a disclaimer first. This is on Way of the Demon difficulty, so I beat the game a couple times with this particular character. This is on a balanced build, and the blade does not have any elemental affinities. It just has a little bit extra Kai damage and a little bit extra life drain damage when I use something that drains life from an opponent. So you'll see that a little bit. As far as everything else goes, let's go over the buffs first. So my standard buffs are Flame Dragon Scroll, Hellfire Feathers, and Luminous Blade, which will come into one of the combos later on, for damage. These are my damage abilities. My secondary buffs, the buffs I like to put on before any major fight, like a large yokai or yokai mist, is Extraction Talisman, Cutting Blast Talisman, which are very, very powerful. I put these on for any large yokai, or even medium yokai. Shockwave Talismans, which are good for setting up some of the combos we're going to see today. And the Quick Change Scroll, the Talisman, the Quick Change Scroll, to give myself an extra chance and to combo with something you'll see in a second. Lightning Familiars to apply lightning. Protection Talisman to combo with something you'll see in a second. And Power Pills for that extra damage, as well as a Barrier Talisman. And then I like to keep a crystal on me in case I need to shift suddenly in a boss fight. A Fire Talisman to do extra fire damage if I need it. A Tiger Sprint Talisman, which can be overpowered in some boss fights. I'm not going to lie to you, there are some bosses where this feels like it's cheating. Just because your top dashing speed and your top walking speed are so powerful. And then finally, Last Gambit, which is what I was talking about before. Combining Quick Change with Barrier and Last Gambit can allow Last Gambit's downside to basically be negligible at best. Sure, you're going to have less health, but you're going to do so much more damage. Like even right here, I can survive multiple hits like that, come out of it, disengage, and heal if I need to. So it's pretty good. Genki. It's pretty good. That's why I like to keep this particular setup. And you can use whatever you want. This is just what I use for this weapon in particular. If I was using, say, the dual swords, I would be using something different. I would not be using these. I would probably not be using something like a Fire Talisman for my damage increases. I'd probably be using something else. Because dual elemental dual swords, like this one I have right here, are very powerful and are top-of-the-line stuff in the game. Alright, so let's get into the first combo, what I call Heaven's Drop. This is using two abilities, which you can actually get from the very start of the game. That being Heaven's Flash, which I realize I slept on for a while, and Sword Shadow, which are both abilities you can get without any sort of training. You can get the Adept version for Sword Shadow's follow-up, A Light and Darkness, but we'll get into that once we go into the combo. If you have Omeo Magic, Blast Blades and Shockwave are good because, well, Heaven's Flash starts with a dash, and that allows you to set up your combo a bit better by knocking enemies away from you. So let's do the combo. This is Heaven's Drop right here. 1, 2, 3. Go into it, and then we can continue our heavy. There you go. Alternatively, you can do a Datara Hammer. You can actually cancel into a Datara Hammer during Heaven's Flash to give yourself a degree of safety while using it. So that, the full combo looks something like this. And then Datara Hammer. Finishing blow. Good stuff, good stuff. If he doesn't run out of Kai beforehand, 2, 3, does full combo. You can do something like that. Getting them against the wall is really good for this as well. It works very well. Keep in mind, Datara Hammer is a soul core you can get Literally, second mission. The Gozuki Soul Core, you can get first mission. You can get it first mission, so it's pretty good. Canceling it into Datara Hammer is very powerful as well. Observe. 1, 2, 3. You can get rid of a lot of their Kai if you don't even push him. I could have probably Tempest him there and gotten rid of his Kai. Hell, I can just kind of push him for all of his Kai right now if I wanted to. It works very well. You can do this from any combo state. You can get a finishing blow off on him and then Datara Hammer again. Because it only costs 6. Like 6, I believe? Yeah, it only costs 6. This one in particular only costs 7. It only costs 7. If you have really high Amita, you can do that twice in a single combo. That especially works well against medium yokai, but as far as this goes on small yokai, this can still work, right? This can still work pretty well. 2, 3, 1, cancel into it. Sword Shadow, I mean he's down, but we can do Sword Shadow. We can just finishing blow there. Against squirmier opponents, like ninjas, you want to always have the Blast Blade beats up. As you can see, he will dodge to the left and right and make it more difficult. The reason I say you want to have the Blast Blades up is because he will usually block it or dodge away from Heaven's Flash if he's too close to you. Like something like that. Even dodge my cancel. Canceling it can make it easier for you to hit him, though. So that's pretty good. There you go. That's what the full combo looks like without the Blast Blades. You have to be a lot more aggressive, and without the Shockwave, just help set it up. As far as it goes on heavy yokai, you also want to do, you basically want to do all of these at once. You also do Sword Shadow after the drop from another heavy combo. If you don't want to set it up with the Blast Blade beads or the Shockwave talisman, it can be a bit more difficult, but this is what this looks like on a heavier yokai. 1, 2, 3, up, hammer, 1, 2, 3, Sword Shadow. If you have the finisher, go for it. He'll be down for a nice finishing blow. And then you can do something like Gozuki to get more Kai damage off on him. Or you can do the combo again for good damage, if you have the Amita to spare for another Datara Hammer. Which you could, depending on, you know, what you use here. Alright, now let's go into the more advanced combination of this. I call this Luminous Blade. This one is very simple. Luminous Blade, which is gotten from the Storm in the Underworld quest from the second DLC, Darkness in the Capital, is dropped by Doman, which is this spell right here. It's an Omeo magic with very high damage, and I found out it pretty much true combos from a full hit of Heaven's Flash. If you hit Heaven's Flash, if you confirm it, it will true combo into Heaven's Flash on most entities. Because it counts as a heavy knockback, and that is just enough time for that to get in there and do damage. It works very well on pretty much everything. It works very well against smaller yokai, especially. Keep in mind the 4 strikes from this do different amounts of damage. The final one does about 30% more damage than the second to final, and the middle one, that stab, does about 20 more damage. 20% more damage. So against weaker yokai, you don't even need to have the Blast Blades or anything set up. You can just go in 1, 2, 3, hit them with it, Datara Hammer, and then you can finish them off with this. And they'll die. Against squirmier opponents, like a ninja, it'll be a bit harder. He'll usually block things more often, but if you can really confirm into that, he's gonna die too. Yeah, he ran out of Kai there, although ninjas are not known for their abundance of Kai. Against bigger targets, especially bigger yokai, you want to break their yokai realm connection first, so they don't have any Kai, so they just have to take the damage outright. So something like this. It's a lot of work, but it can work, and then you can, once they get low like this, you can Datara Hammer to finish them off into it. And now he just has to take this full damage, and I can finishing blow him. You need to wear them down a little bit, but it's incredible damage. Luminous Blade doesn't really have any high damage. It's just hard hitting, powerful damage. You can have up to 4 of these if you want. Very good, very powerful stuff. That is Heaven's Drop and Luminous Heaven. So once again, to finish it off, Heaven's Drop is comboing Heaven's Flash into Datara Hammer, usually with the Blast Blades to make it easier to confirm into. 1, 2, 3. Let's drop Datara Hammer. Now they will sometimes dodge one of the 2 of them. That's why you have a cancel. That's when you cancel into it to break their cup. And then the much more powerful version, which is Luminous Heaven. You go and 1, 2, 3. Now you can do Datara Hammer if you want to, just in case they block it. It's much more effective against larger yokai targets, but you can also just straight up Luminous Blade them while they're recovering or they're blocking, especially if they block. If they block the Luminous Blade, it does so much damage, you're usually going to hit them out of it. 1, 2, 3. Into it, into this, and he dies. Pretty easy, pretty easy. Against the larger yokai, it can be a little bit more difficult, but all in all, it's still going to work pretty well. If you get the horn break, yeah, like that, early, you can Luminous Blade into it, and then exploit their weakness and go for a Sword Shadow to break them down. There you go! Alright, let's get to our medium stance combo now, shall we? Before we get into the mid-stance combos, let's talk about mid-stance itself and how it's very, very, very defense-orientated. Defense-orientated is putting it lightly. There are so many defensive moves in mid-stance, specifically Haze series, Leaf Guard series, Water Shadow series, but all of them pale in comparison to Tempest and Backwave, which is what I'm going to go over here, just as a little extra fragment of advice for you guys, because these are very hard moves to hit properly, and I want to go over them really quickly and some combos you can do with them. So, Tempest is a parry using your guard, Backwave is a parry using your guard, Tempest is the move that follows it up. So, the thing is with Backwave, there's a little delay on it. You can't just spam your guard like this. There is a little delay on it where you have to wait a little bit for your guard to basically act. When he, see the guard of his blade, the hilt, he brings his hilt above his waist is the time where you can parry properly. The time where he's not, the time when he's just holding it and slowly bringing it up above his waist, is the delay that you're going to have to watch out for when you do something like the parries. So let's get into it here. Watch and learn. You usually want to do it a little bit later, because if you are caught during that delay, you will actually get hit. So you want to make sure you do it either late, very, very, very late, so you can dodge out of the way, like that, or as early as possible so you could have a chance of blocking if you're very new to using this move. So, every enemy has their own unique fighting style, and the best thing to do is to just learn. This guy is probably one of the easiest in the game to do it. I still struggle with it sometimes, so here we go. There you go. You gotta watch out for that delay, but it can work. It can work pretty well. Now, the best thing to do, as you just saw right there, if you don't do Tempest, because Tempest you can actually be out of range for sometimes, I've found. If you backwave them properly, you can actually be out of range for Tempest. Best thing to do is finishing blow them, and if you have the skill Reverse Impact for that extra damage, it does a lot of good damage. He's a medium humanoid on Way of the Demon, and he is almost dead. So, it's a lot of good damage. If you don't know where to get Reverse Impact from, it's right here. It is from the mission Spirit's Return. It is dropped by the final boss of that mission. It's a Revenant-type enemy named Fujiwara. It is part of the final DLC, the First Samurai. You have to complete the entire DLC to get the mission Spirit's Return. It's a very hard mission. Nearing the end of the video, I will show you all of the secret skills that I have used in the video thus far. If you want the rest of the secret skills and their knowledge, you can go watch my original video, which has all the secret skill locations and a breakdown on how to get them easily. But besides that, back to Tempest, that's kind of the best way to do it. You gotta wait for that little delay. Even sometimes it doesn't work. You gotta wait for that little delay to happen. You gotta basically kind of guess where your enemy's combos might be. Some attacks are slow enough to where you can just do it. Some attacks are just slow enough where you can easily do it like that. And every single time. Successful. If it doesn't kill them, it's going to leave them on very low Kai, and that's something that's still the equivalent of death. I've never been able to Tempest that, or backwave it, but I know you probably can't, but if anyone's able to backwave Ige quick draw, just, like, show me a video, because I've never found a way to do it. Alright, moving on to the medium stance combos. Alright, so, medium stance combos are pretty awkward, because medium stance is very defensive, like I stated before. A lot of its combos are difficult to do at best. So, let's start off with the first one. This is a Soul Core combo, using one of the first Soul Cores you get in the game, the Gozuki Soul Core. You get this from the first mission. I think it's actually the third enemy in the first mission of the game. You have to defeat the optional boss, which is the third enemy. But you will get this Soul Core from it, and it's a very good Soul Core. There you go. It's just a big bull charge. So I call this one the Tempered Bull. We will be using one of two skills. First one is Swallow's Wing. You can get this from the Novice skill. The Novice skill, Way of the Warrior Adept and such. You can get the Advanced version from Adept. But if you only have Swallow's Wing and like the Novice version, it's okay. It still works with this. You just want to get a little bit of distance when finishing this combo. And this combo is very, very simple. You start at medium combo, 1, 2, 3, dodge backwards, and Gozuki. The reason you want to start that medium combo instead of just Gozukiing them immediately is because of how Gozuki works. It's 2 hits, and usually it will not drain their Kai all the way. When you start that medium combo and then backflip out of it and come back in with Gozuki, that actually brings their guard up. Most enemies will have their guard up enough to where you can force them to block the first hit of Gozuki, which will usually break their guard, or they just won't block it at all because you just disengage from them and they're not going to expect. This will usually leave any humanoid on the ground. Yokai it'll even leave on the ground. It's very, very good. Keep in mind, this is a first mission Soul Core. So, once again, your just standard combo, 1, 2, 3, 4, standard medium, followed up by that, and even if they're doing an attack, you have good distance on them. Your hitbox is very, very small, because your hitbox is not the entire thing, right? It's not this entire mass, right? Your hitbox is actually near the center of his feet, and near the center of his head. So, you don't need to worry about that. You're probably in a safe place for most creatures, and do remember, you get iframes during that backflip, which can actually allow you to phase through certain attacks. And because you're practically invincible, you do have super armor during this Gozuki charge. It's a very safe move to pull off. Very safe. Very safe. So, what do we do with an enemy that's grounded? Well, we reverse impact. It's a good way to reverse impact, because Gozuki will automatically knock them down. Or, if it misses, which it can, right there, you can put them in a different combo like this and do good damage. It's all about your distance, how you gauge your distance. Holding the Gozuki charge will not increase its length. It only hits like that. It'll only go until it hits something, and then it'll buck up. Sometimes the enemy will just flat out avoid it thanks to spacing. But that's just how it is. So, this combo can be done essentially from the beginning of the game. When you get Novice Wings Swallow, or Swallow's Wing, right? Yes, Swallow's Wing. When you get Novice Way of the Warrior done, you can get Swallow's Wing, which is near the beginning of the game, and this is one of the first soul cores you can get in the game itself. So there you go. It performs very well against humans, as you can probably tell already. 2, 3. If they're just blocking, you can just Gozuki them immediately. Then do this, and then reverse impact, like we did before, to get a little bit extra damage on them. Depending on the spacing, you might be able to even kill them with reverse impact. Very good. Well, let's test this against yokai. Against yokai, it's a bit of a different story. Some yokai, like smaller yokai, they're very weak to this. Yokai like skeletons, 1, 2, 3, 4, backflip, go in. It will drain all of their yokai realm connection, but because yokai usually have a bit more health, it won't usually kill them. Against ninjas, you might just want to Gozuki them in general. They're very, very difficult to catch off guard, and sometimes they block, but they don't have a lot of Kai, so you can do something like that. Just do like half the combo real quick, because you can Swallow's Wing anywhere in the combo. Even like your first attack. I'm just doing the entire combo to soften up the opponent to then Gozuki. And then against yokai, you can do something like we did with the low combo. You can use Luminous Blade if you have it, for an extension if you're late game. Because even after missing the combo, I still do really good damage against him. As you can tell, he's missing a lot of his Kai already. If I break his horns, he might just be out of it, but re-engaging with him can be pretty dangerous. So 1, 2, 3, backflip into it, and I was safe most of that entire time. 1, 2, 3, 4, backflip into it, and then Luminous Blade. It's a little bit less effective, but you need to get in there. You need to drain some of their Kai, some of their yokai realm connection. You need to drain some of it, soften the target up a little bit before going in for your finisher with the Gozuki. If you break their horns early, like that, just do it immediately. And then into Luminous Blade, into a finisher. There you go. It'll get a little messy, but your Gozuki just makes you so safe during this entire attack. It's pretty good. It is pretty good. So those are our variants. The Bull Rush, or the Tempered Bull. And then the Tempered Flash. 1, 2, 3. Tempered Bull. There we go. And then, as soon as he stands up, you have Yokai Realm Portal. And then 1, 2, 3. Backflip. See, I'm very safe during that. And then Tempered Flash. You can follow it up with Luminous Blade, because Gozuki is a very heavy hit that can knock people on the ground. If they're on the ground, Luminous Blade is pretty good, as we saw with the light combos. If you really don't have the Gozuki Soul Core and you don't want to grind for it, you can do kind of the same thing with the datara hammer to less effectiveness. 2, 3, 4, 5. It won't be as quite as effective or damaging, but, you know, it's up to you what you want to do there with it. Gozuki is very, very powerful. It's a very, very powerful attack. Does a lot of damage, a lot of Kai damage. Keep in mind, I'm not like a Soul Core specialist on this build. This build just has a little bit of Omeo magic damage. That's pretty much the only thing it specializes in. So there you go. Very, very powerful. As far as like what to do if the combo fails, you're pretty safe. I mean, it's not like they're going to really be able to kill you too quickly. You're pretty safe because of Swallow's Wing. Even if you have the first version that only takes you back about half this distance, you're pretty safe. You get a lot of iframe. So what you can do if the combo fails, if you don't soften the yokai up enough because you get behind him or something, you can just disengage and re-engage from the front. And at that point, he's probably got enough in... There's probably enough damage on him where he's got enough in him to, like, maybe attack you with one more combo, but he's going to go down pretty quickly to another one of your, like, basics. and then you can go Zuki him. So there you go. Alright. That was the medium stance combos and their potentials. I haven't used anything that I haven't explained thus far, so we're going to go and do the heavy combos. Heavy combos are some of the strangest because, well, they're all about damage, but heavy itself, the high stance for the sword, is very awkward. It's very awkward and very hard to use, but I'll show you what I got. Alright, time to get into the high stance combos. Okay, so I got two. They're very similar to each other. One of them is early game, like I stated before, and one of them is late game with the DLCs going into New Game Plus. So we will be using two moves. We'll be using Morning Moon and a Soul Core known as Yoki, which I believe appears from the 4th mission onwards, the 3rd mission onwards. Very early game. Very early. So, here's how this works. We are going to fight primarily humans with this one, although it can work against yokai. It's just a little bit awkward. Heavy stance or high stance is very good at really softening enemies up, right? It does a lot of damage, a lot of Kai damage. It does a lot of very heavy hitting attack, and with Full Moon or Morning Moon, it does a lot more like that. So it works pretty well for softening up targets, especially bosses. This works very well against humanoids because the Yoki Soul Core is a grapple against humans. That's it. That's Demon's Maw right there. It's very simple, quick, and easily executable Soul Core. I can do this at pretty much any engagement range against him. So long as I hit one of those attacks, bam, I got it, he's on the ground. Now you can't finishing blow him like this. It's not a finishing blow state, it's actually an animation. But it still hurts. And it's very good against humanoids. You can cancel it at any time because it's a Soul Core. So if he's dodging to the left, and you're about to miss one of your slashes with Morning Moon, you can just real quickly whoop, go into it, and you can hit him. It's really, really fun, and really, really, really powerful. This can work against smaller yokai as well, of course. Like skeletons and such, it can work. It'll usually deplete them all of their connection to the yokai realm if you hit them with it. Like that. And it will down them. That first strike will usually always down any creature you hit them with. But against ninjas, it's a little bit harder to use. Because it's a grapple and ninjas like to move around so much and you're in high stance, it's a little harder to use. You do have to get that initial confirm into a Kai break or something that does a lot of damage or something that forces them on the ground to begin with to hit them with the Yoki Soul. It's difficult. It is difficult, but it can work. They usually don't have a lot of energy to begin with, so just getting that first initial confirm or that first initial Kai break is enough to kill. All right, 2, 3. Just a single combo and a Yoki core is enough. Against medium yokai, you're gonna probably want some buffs that might help you out, such as power pills or anything that allows you to do a bit more damage, such as there's an elemental affinity on your blade. But it still works. It'll drain them of all their energy really quickly. So, up stance is very good for hitting horns, so that's what we're going to do here. Now that he's softened up, you can go into that, you're safe during that entire animation, and you can hit him with a finishing blow. I find that sometimes Morning Moon can even hit blue Oni horns way up above your head. You can sometimes even hit those when they're attacking. So this works pretty well as a powerful combo. Once again, it's pretty simple. 2, 3, and 1, 2, they go down. Just like that. Works on pretty much anything that isn't very large bosses, even against like castle-sized bosses. This can work really, really well. Now, there is an issue with this. This isn't exactly cheap. It's half of my bar, so you might not have enough to spam this constantly, but through the grace of the developers, you can. You can just hit someone with this, and then hit him with it again, if you have the right distance, that is. It's very difficult to pull off. It's a double grapple combo, but there you go. You gotta have the right distance, but it does work. I wouldn't suggest it. I would not suggest just spamming the Yoki Soul. First of all, because it's difficult to hit, right? It's very difficult to hit them. Instead, if you're late game and you want to increase the power of this combo, you can try Kishin's Wrath instead, which is the advanced version of this combo, using something we've often used, Reverse Impact, and another soul core from the second DLC, which is the Underworld Soldier. So, I believe you can get this from the second DLC. I believe the first mission in the second DLC, or one of those two. It might also be in the base game. So, let's start this off. This one's very powerful. Same kind of setup. 1, 2, 3. They dodge, hit them with this. This is another grapple. And it leaves them on the ground. Amazing. Look at that. And he's low, so you can hit him with anything that'll hit him in the head. Wow. Like that. Get him on the ground again at close range. Kill him. He's low. But, because he's left on the ground at the end of the Yoki Soul Core, you probably know what that means by now if you've been watching this video all the way, you can actually hit him with a Reverse Impact. Even if he blocks, he's still grappled. 2, 3. Go into it. See, that does happen occasionally with the Yoki Soul Core. It will whiff on walls. Keep that in mind. But if it doesn't whiff, you can hit him with this, and then Reverse Impact. And it all pretty much true combos. There's not much they can do there. So, one time. This time clean as possible. 1, 2, 3. You can skip the extension if you feel like he's going to guard or dodge. Another one. And Reverse Impact. Sometimes the first hit of Reverse Impact will not connect. You'll only connect the second one. But it'll usually hit them in the back, which will do extra damage. Against smaller yokai? Oh, this is amazing. So, the Underworld Soldier's Soul Core against yokai will not grapple. Instead, it will spin if it makes connection. Like that. And then you can still yoki them into a down state, into Reverse Impact, or a finishing blow. Ninjas? This is actually really good against them, if you can hit them. Sometimes they're too short for the Soul Core to connect. So once again, you need that initial hit, like that. They're really squirmy. You need that initial hit, or you need to hit them while they're attacking you. But this does a lot of damage and can work really well. Ninjas usually don't have a whole lot of health, so it's a bit of overkill. But if you can really connect it, just do the full combo and you're going to kill them. It's really good if you do the full combo, because they're so squirmy that if you hit that initial grapple on this, you're saving yourself a lot of headache. They've got dodges and blocks for days. Honestly, I would suggest doing it when they're throwing something at you, because your reach with this is so far, right? If he pulls out a bomb or anything, do it then. And he's dead. There's not much he can do at this point. You gotta watch your distance on Yoki there. It's something you've probably seen. But it can work. There you go. Medium yokai, this still works pretty well. Up stance breaks horns very quickly. 6. Up stance breaks horns very quickly. You gotta soften them all the way up. You get super armor while you're doing this, and you can yoki them for more. That's a dead yokai right there. He's basically got nothing. You can true and through him as he gets up, too. Pretty good. Pretty good. I like these combos. It's a bit messy on medium yokai, but so long as they don't open with anything crazy, or at least the fight is on your terms, like you open the fight, you can hit him with these two really quickly. And keep in mind, this one's only taking 11 of my Amita. If you're in New Game Plus, you're probably going to have 11 Amita, right? You're probably going to have it. So, this is a good combo to get, big yokai or strong humanoids out of the way. Or it's just really good if you're at really low health, because against humanoids, this is pretty safe. Say I'm at low health, I got no elixirs left, I can engage immediately. Because both of them are grapples, I could just go into this, bam, bam, bam. Hit this as well, he can't do anything. And then reverse impact, boom, he's dead. If I was in like a really bad mission or something, and I was really far, and the shrine was right here, and he was the only person standing in my way, it's such a safe and long combo with a lot of damage that it can really save your ass. Boom, boom, grapple. If he's up against a wall like this, back up, then Yoki, and then reverse impact, he's dead. Just like that. Okay, so let's get into the secret skill locations that I've mentioned in this video thus far, and then we can wrap it up. Alright, before we get into the secret skills, let me state a disclaimer real quick. We will not be going over all of the secret skills for the sword in this video. If you want those locations in particular, simply just go to the skill video that I did a while ago in the description below. It'll be linked down there that has all of the locations for all of the secret skills for the sword. I will be showing off the ones I shown off in this video for the combos. First one is not even a secret sword skill. It's actually an Omeo magic skill. In the Darkness in the Capital chapter, which is the second DLC, after completing the entire DLC story, you will find a storm in the underworld. This mission right here, where you will fight Dorman. I'll be going through the entire mission just to show you guys what it's like and how you can beat it pretty easily. You do get a companion for this mission, and there's only 5 enemies in total. So it should be pretty easy. You know, he's not the greatest guy in the world. He's got a semi-okay stats. He usually can make it to the end, but fall to the boss. There's only 5 enemies here, so let's get into this. First one is a underworld hag, which will spawn right here. She's pretty weak. Just keep out of her way. She has a very difficult dash attack. An underworld soldier will quickly spawn afterwards. I didn't even get to do the combo. He died too quickly. And then finally this crab. Attack it from behind where you see the crystals, or it'll have massive damage reduction. Then Dorman will spawn right here. Oh, right there. He has some very powerful attacks. He's a wizard. Attacking him from the front is nearly futile, as he has an infinite stamina shield. If I attack him like that... Oh, jeez. If I attack him like that, his stamina doesn't actually drop very much at all. It's nearly infinite. He has like a reduction of 90 to 98%, so it's futile attacking him from the front. Instead, let your friend here attack him from the back, or you get around him and attack him from the back. He has multiple Omeo magic spells. He also does have Luminous Blade right there, which he will do if you're way too close to him. He also usually does it if you are out of high. If you're out of high, he will go into that and hit you with the full combo, which is very devastating. Just keep back, and after he casts a spell like that, just go in. Usually when he's like this is a good time to do it, and always try and get behind him. But this is just the beginning. A much harder boss is soon to spawn. There we go. 1, 2, 3. He's very defensive, and he has a lot of moves that push you away from him or do big damage. These will come up from the ground. Be careful of these, because he can actually spawn these very quickly. That is a very hard timing on that laser beam, but if you can get it off, you're good. And he will occasionally drop Luminous Blade. Very rare. Secret skills are very rare. Izuna will actually spawn now. And you have to fight her. She's not a fun boss to fight. Let's go over this one, shall we? So, she has multiple very, very distant moves. She constantly strikes you with lightning. So I'd suggest bringing in like a lightning resistance tag if you can. She has a lot of burst moves. She has a lot of moves which strike you with the lightning status effect. She has a grab, which usually instant kills. Lot of damage. But if you keep on her, she actually has a lot of stagger and is very, very weak to rush down. She's very slow, as you can see. All of her attacks apply lightning, or shock specifically. So be careful with that. She also does have a couple attacks that will create big orbs of energy that will then fire out blades in all directions. And she has one where it fires singular blades which track to you. Go into low stance if that happens and just dodge around them like this, because otherwise they will hit you, and even through your block they will usually apply shocked. If you get shocked applied to you, either just play at a distance until it's over, or use a talisman to just cure yourself, because you do not want to go in with her in melee while you're shocked, because she may be slow, but you are so much slower while that's happening. So there you go. That is how you get Luminous Blade. Next up, we will go over Izuna Drop. So I showed off this one a few times, but it didn't actually come into any of the combos, but I'll still do it. So, Darkness in the Capital, after completing the DLC, same story as the previous one, you get the mission Dragon Clan, which you fight one of the main characters of, well, the Ninja Gaiden series. So going into this, you're going to want to immediately apply all of your buffs that you may have, because it's a single fight, and he is really dangerous. So we're going to go in, apply our buffs, all of them. Now he will say a voice line and then jump out of the forehead of that statue right there. It's better to get the shorter voice line because he will come out sooner. And he will come out swinging. He is very quick. He has a multitude of moves. He has 2 weapons he will switch from, and while he is casting spells like this, he's pretty much invincible. You can't actually get too close to him. Some of your combos can interrupt his air attacks, but otherwise he's a ninja, but he's actually dangerous. He has a couple grabs which you can burst counter, but that's it. This is his... Ooh, like that right there. This is his second weapon. Once again, invincible while he's doing that. That one's a burst around him, another one's a fireball. And there's another one where he shoots a bullet that does shitloads of Kai damage, don't even try and block it. It's called Umbrian Bullet. It's when he fires a small black hole at you. You'll see it. Don't even try and block it. It's way too much Kai damage. It's comical. I probably could with this character, but I've got max on me. Ooh, it's a good thing he did not hit that. Alright, so your best thing to do if you're using a sword is go medium stance and kind of push him when he finishes any attacks or combos. You gotta be very careful here. If you have any ninjutsu, like any really big ninjutsu that appears below him specifically, you can wait for him to do some of his spells, like that, and then hit him with it. And it will hit him. It will usually hit him, so long as he doesn't get out of his spells a little too quickly. You gotta get used to those insane grapples. He will go over you, he will go under you. They're usually a jump, or some kind of grapple. He's usually going to start him off with a jump, though. He does have another one that is just a standing grapple for both of his weapons. He uses claws and the dragon sword. That right there. Don't even try and block that. That's a lot of Kai damage. Like that. He usually starts it off with that. True and Through, which is another skill I'll be showing off, is the best way to deal with him. And he will occasionally drop Izuna Drop, if you're lucky. He also has 3 other secret skills for the ninja arts that he uses, including this one. So, you might want to farm him. If you have True and Through, it's very good against him. So yeah, there you go. That is how you get Izuna Drop. Alright, next up is Reverse Impact. Reverse Impact is really, really good. In fact, it's probably one of the best skills in the game. Unfortunately, it's also the skill that's the latest in the game. You get this from a mission called A Spirit's Return after completing the first Samurai DLC, which is the final DLC. This is hell. As emotional and amazing as A Distant Dream is as a mission, A Spirit's Return is worse. So much worse than A Distant Dream. This mission is grueling and nightmarish. So I'll show you how to get through it a lot easier. It's a gauntlet-style mission, where you have to face multiple enemies in a gauntlet. However, there is a bit of a skip you can do against the second gauntlet. You can skip the second gauntlet and immediately go into the final one. You are looking to kill the man known as Fujiwara, I believe. He is the final boss of this mission. He's a Revenant-type enemy who does use True and Through, so if you're on the ground against him, he will just instantly kill you. However, his his reverse impact does not do back shots like ours does. Our reverse impact will actually hit the opponent in the back and do critical damage. His doesn't, so maybe you can get away with getting hit by it once if you're on the ground, but that's doubtful. Now, this mission is very hard, so I'm going to be using a stronger weapon for this. In particular, as this weapon is kind of broken. The dual swords I have here, I have specially made for late game, in particular, because I want to take this character further into the game, and I want to get to the Abyss eventually. So that guy will start spawning. Oh, nope, he starts with a spin. A blue Oni will spawn. Pretty good. A stone infant will spawn. Right here. Whoop. Attack him when he's made of flesh, not stone. He has a 90% damage reduction to physical attacks when that's going on. It is... Whoa! Bad. See what I tried to do there? I tried to stagger him out of it, but because he's made of stone, when he does that, I just get absolutely plowed. These guys are a handful. I think they might be one of the most annoying types in the game. Their elemental resistance stays the same, though. See, he took the same amount of damage. But their actual, like, physical resistance is increased significantly. Just take your time with them. If you have any fire elemental abilities, use it on them. Because, once again, they take significantly less damage from everything you can throw at them. Now, one of the strongest enemies in the game will spawn. Fuki. This guy is danger incarnate. He's very fast. A lot of his combos have projectiles on them, which does basically extra damage. He has a Wagazashi he will throw out occasionally. Like this, he has projectiles he can do from his own swings in case he misses you with them. He has a grab on that. Be careful. If you see him do that, he can extend that into a grab. Very dangerous. It takes a weapon for the Dream of Demons to kill him properly. That's what these dual swords are made for. I might struggle with that if I used a slower weapon. So there you go. You can get a Tanuki ally here, which will copy you, which is very good. You can fight this guy right here if you want to for some extra souls, but you don't need to. You can just run straight past him. He does have a very good soul core, so if you don't have it already, somehow by this section of the game, farm it up. Very good. Alright, so the game instructs you to go to the right here. Down this path. Don't do that. It'll actually lead you to the second gauntlet. You can just drop straight down and go to the final gauntlet right here. You want as many fire spells as you can get on you right now. There's going to be a huge wave of enemies coming. First, this guy. If you have any big fire spells, like a fireball, he basically dies instantly to it. And he dropped his soul core. Very nice of him. Next, a snake woman. Not too dangerous. Mini bosses will start spawning at this point, like Umi Boza here. A lot of Umi Bozas included. This guy is poisonous, be careful. I have elemental damage, so it's not too big of a deal. These dual blades are just really powerful. Careful with that ledge there. A mini boss just spawned. She will spawn halfway through when one of the Umi Bozas is dead. If you have fire, use it on her. She's very vulnerable to it. She is extra vulnerable to it. Very powerful. And then finally, these two will spawn, and if you don't kill them quick enough, you're going to have a bigger problem behind you. You need to kill these guys very quickly, or you are going to have a massive issue on your hands. And he just spawned behind me. This guy. He can become invincible temporarily. He has a lot of close-range attacks, a lot of high DPS dark energy attacks. Be careful. Just dodge around him, keep your distance, and keep on him. He's kind of vulnerable to rush down. Another stone infant will spawn. 1, 2, 3. I get grabbed again because I tried to break him out of it. Then there's that guy. Okay, so see that guy back there? Oh, keep in mind his rock throw does have a follow-up. Our Tanuki friend here does have, like, significantly more health than we do. Attacking this guy from behind, kind of dangerous. You can actually tink off of him. If you are too quick or you hit him from certain angles, you can, like, tink off of his armor. Ooh. They're going for the Tanuki, luckily enough. And after you kill this guy... Oh! There we go. Broke his yokai realm connection. After you killed this guy, if you can, he's very tough. Luminous Blade coming in handy once again. I suggest you pick it up. The true final boss will spawn. He will spawn with a servant. See that red guy right in front of me? Keep your distance. As if you do not keep your distance from this guy while that servant is alive, he will kill you very quickly. They are very deadly together, even though that's a very weak enemy. This guy is the last one. He's the one that will drop reverse impact. He actually is wielding a Demon's Maul, which I find pretty funny, since that's the weapon your mother gives you in the game. Let's begin. He's kind of vulnerable to rush down, but he has a lot of Kai, so the best thing you can do if you're just using the single blade is the low Heaven's Flash combo into Luminous Blade if you can. There's reverse impact. He will use it. Don't get hit by that. That hurts. Let's go. Oop. He has Sword Shadow. You can try and push him for his Kai. Whoa! One, two, three. Another guy. Yeah, another guy will spawn halfway through. I was wondering when he'd come around. He does have 2 elixirs on him, but I find that he rarely uses them, so we can just barely edge him out on health if we're at this point, so long as we skipped the second gauntlet. True and Through does work pretty well. True and Through is just a very good skill in general. And so is Luminous Blade here. Oof. Stayed all for that one. Ooh. Timing was off. Alright. Once that guy is dead, it is just you and him. Keep in mind, we're doing all of this for a 1 in 1,000 chance of getting that skill. You can just kind of True and Through him and poke him from a distance if you want to kill him. If you do not have True and Through, do a combination, hit your quick change now, and do a combination of Blast and something that helps you with your ki. And then just go in on him, try and push him for his Kai when he's low. He's very dangerous. He's probably the strongest Revenant type enemy in the game. He cannot be grabbed very well either. And he will follow reverse impact up with pretty much everything. But if you wear him down slowly, he will die. And very rarely, if you're lucky, after all of that pain in the ass, he will drop reverse impact. And there you go. That is like the full guide on that one side mission. It's a night. But let's get into the final one now, something I've been using this entire time. True and Through. And finally, for one of the best skills in the game, we're going to go back from the DLC to the main game in the Era of Dream. After completing the Era of Dream, you will get a mission known as Yaksha's Return. This is pretty simple. You've actually beaten this mission once before without knowing it. This mission is a single boss fight, which was previously a boss fight in the main campaign, that you'll have to do again. Just in case you forget about it, or just in case you're just going through this video grinding for all of it, and, you know, haven't fought this boss in a really long time, I pray for you that you got reverse impact within your first 10 tries. I'll show you the boss itself and how to beat it. Now, he does have an auto parry, so be careful of that. When he enters, he'll have his wing up, will usually open with that, and he does have an auto parry. You can see there, it's really irritating. Now he does have very long wrath states where he creates the yokai realm. Those are very, very, very long. He has a stab which you can burst counter there. After every move, he will usually have a window where you can attack him without getting parried, but it's difficult. He loves to do that one. If you have a Blade of Execution on your primary sword, you can burst counter that as well. Then this boss is somewhat easy. Now you do need to hit him in his glowing wing to cause it to go out and get a 3 stagger chance on him. He does have a grab right there at the end of his combo. He can just also do that grab outright. That's what that looks like. Oof. 2 burst counters in a row, damn. There, his auto parry will be off for this. But this boss is pretty vulnerable to getting behind him and just hitting him a lot. So there you go. Actually, cut his wing off while he was in his rage state, which is very rare. But you can do that, and it will weaken him and throw him out of his rage state automatically. So there you are. Still has Otakumaru's horns. There you are. That would be the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. I do a lot of streaming and a lot of other guide videos, especially for this game, but I'm planning on probably doing some more in the future. And I love things like Nioh, Japanese culture in general, and things like Toho. So if you're interested in those, do subscribe. I do it all the time. Alright, other than that, thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.